Hey friends, how are you? Paula here. Welcome back to my channel, The Flavorful Home, and welcome back to my kitchen. I am excited because today I am participating in a collaboration hosted by Tony of Kettle Kitchen and Pam from Blues Self-Reliance. Jam It Up June. I love these collaborations because they're chock full of fantastic recipes. And so, of course, when the email came out, I said, put me down, I'm in. I love canning. It's a great way to preserve. It's a great way to get food on your shelf without clogging your freezer. And it's good to have canned items in case your electricity goes out, and sadly it's happened, meats are lost. So I want to touch on a couple of things before we get rolling. I am strictly by the book canning practices here. You will never see any rebel canning on my channel. That's just how I roll. It is a-okay for you to do however you feel comfortable with your families. I do not like rebel canning for myself and my family. I understand there are many generational canners out there whose moms, grandmas, great-grandmas, and great-great-grandmas have canned, and they do things that just are not approved. Dry canning items, using the oven to heat their jars, beans being put into the jars without being soaked first. That's not going to happen here. And that is a-okay if that is what you do. Your kitchen, your rules, I always say. But just know, if you visit me, you can take it to heart. It's going to be safe canning. I'm not going to do anything even a little iffy. I follow them by the book. Couple of tips. Clean, clean, and clean. You want your area pristine. You don't want to risk introducing any kind of bad bacteria. I scrub my sink with super hot water and a soapy scrub brush, and then I fill it with super hot water for the jars to sit, and I also heat up water in my tea kettle and pour that in so that it is hot. I wash my counter down, and then I wipe it with an antibacterial wipe. One of the disinfecting ones. Whatever one you use, Clorox, Sam's, wipe it down with a disinfecting wipe. I wash all my jars. Even though before I put them away, they went in the dishwasher, I rewash them before I use them for canning. I run my fingers. It's a good time and opportunity to check for chips and breaks. I run my fingers over the rims and feel around the jar for nicks, because you don't want to lose a jar because it has a crack in it. Then I wash my tools. And these are the tools I use. I love this scoop because it sits nice right on, this ladle sits right on the pot. Then I have my canning crew, the funnel, the debubbler, the jar lifter, the lid lifter. Hold on, Yogi. My dog is telling me, you think you could let me out? My favorite tool is my steam canner, and it could also be a water bath canner. This is Harvest multi-use canner. I love steam canning over water bath because you're using less water. So for me, that works better. Give me a minute. I'm going to let them out. Sometimes dogs are worse than babies. Let me show you the actual. This is the steam canner. And like I said, it could also be a water bath canner if you choose to use it that way. The reason I prefer the steam is because you're only putting 3 quarts of water in your canner, and 3 quarts of water comes up to temperature a heck of a lot faster than a full canner of water that has to cover your jars by at least an inch. This is what the top looks like. And it has a guide of, we call the go zone. I'm in the dark green for my altitude. And when that happens, I lower the flame some because you don't want to boil off all your water. You don't need it boiling crazy. I lower the heat so that it's still boiling but not nutso. And I start my timer when it shows me, the gauge shows me it's in the go zone. My other tool, if you will, this is one of my favorite books, The Ball, Complete Book of Home Preserving. And this is where the recipe is. I am making mango, raspberry jelly, but I'm not making raspberry. I am subbing strawberry, which you can do. And it's on page 31, right up here. And it calls for a cup and a half of crushed red raspberries. But raspberries weren't on sale. Strawberries are all over the place because it's the season. I bought a half a flat and have already made my strawberry jam. So I already crushed up a cup and a half of the strawberries. If you can save the money and have strawberries, you can use, as long as you're switching out the exact measurement, which is what I did. And I think that about covers it. I'm going to turn you around and show you the ingredients. Come on. Okay, so here we have our ingredients. You need 3 cups of finely chopped mango. Now this isn't quite, this is about 2 1/3 cups. I'm going to show you a trick of how I cut my mango. That's why I didn't do the full 3 cups yet. A cup and a half of crushed either raspberries, as the recipe calls for, or strawberries, if that's what you have. 2 tablespoons of bottled lemon juice, not fresh squeezed, bottled, unless the recipe says fresh squeezed. 6 tablespoons of Real Fruit Classic Pectin. I'm using Ball, it's what I have, but I think there is another brand out there. And the thing that gets a lot of folks, 5 1/2 cups of sugar. I know it is a lot of sugar. And I promise you, there will definitely be other collaborators who are doing low sugar recipes, so seek them out. And there's Pomona Pectin, which I believe is a low sugar as well. So I haven't tried that yet, but I'm going to, because it is a lot of sugar. But we don't eat jelly to the point where the sugar bothers me that much. But I would like to experiment with the low sugar recipes. Okay, so, and of course, it's washed. This is a trick my daughter showed me, and I'm not going to worry about that label. It got washed too. You cut it as close to the pit as you can, and mangoes are very fibrous. And of course I bought too many because I had no clue how many mangoes it would take to get me 3 1/2 cups. but I go around the edge like that, and I'll slice some off of the pit, but you don't want the white part of the pit. So that's good. And then I'll flip the pit. I remove, and I do it slowly, get the skin off of that. Because like you see this, I don't want that. That's from the pit. And you could feel its fibrous. That'll be trash. And we'll get this. And let me throw these away. And now I'm going to show you the fun part of peeling a mango. Glass at the rim, push down, and see how fibrous? There you go. Do another. It goes right, the lip of the glass goes right into the mango skin. I don't want that part of the pit. And bingo, into the trash. And now I will finally, I don't like that little blemish. Probably is nothing, but I don't like it. All right, I'll mince these real quick to show you. You're going to add your, and it did give me 3 cups. So I do have extra mangoes, and that's okay. I'll slice one and keep it in the fridge, and the rest I will freeze. In go the mangoes. In go the berries. Now I'm going to put it on, get that flame going. You're going to add your lemon juice and your pectin. And it says, I'm going to tilt you a little, you whisk to get that pectin in there. That's looking good. Continue to stir. And you don't add the sugar until it's boiling. And then in goes the sugar. And then you bring it up to a boil. A nice hard boil. And then it boils for a minute. All right, this is boring. This isn't the fun part. I'll bring you back when we're ready to dump in the sugar. All righty, that is boiling. And just a couple of clarifications. It doesn't say anything about water. I checked more than once. And it doesn't say anything in the directions about stirring and boiling until stirring doesn't stop the boil. It's not telling you to boil till it can't be stirred down. But you do have to add your sugar all at once. 5½ cups. Boink. Get that all. All right, I'm going to stand you up. Unfortunately, I can't quite get a good enough angle on you you to, that's gonna have to do, because I wanna get this all in there. Oh yes, that sugar sure does liquefy it real quick. And once it's back up to the boil, you're going to boil for 1 minute. And then you're going to jar it. It did not say to do this, but I'm going to do the test for setting up. I put my dish in the freezer. I put my jam on there. Oh yes, I could feel it. See that? That is beautiful. Perfect. Oh my goodness, friends, it tastes divine. We're gonna move over. Hold on. Another couple of things for you to know. Ball now says if you are canning or processing for 10 minutes or more, you no longer have to boil your jars and lids. I keep my jars in extremely hot water in the sink. Like I was saying, I keep my lids in hot water just to soften the rubber, but you don't need to do any of that anymore if you're processing for more than 10 minutes, which I am. My altitude requires me to add 5 minutes. And this is going to be a 1/4 inch headspace. And you could also use the jar. Let me show you that real quick too while we're at it. This rim is 1 inch. This is 1/2 inch, and the top is a 1/4 inch. So you can also use your jar to help you measure, as well as your debubbler. I use both because I'm just crazy like that. Also, prep more cans than it says. To be honest, I think most of the time people are getting less than what Ball says, but better to have more jars ready to go than get to the end and find you need another jar. So I did 8 jars because it says you will get 7 half-pint jars. Okay, so now I'm going to debubble. I have my water bath canner coming up to temperature. Also, you see how the ladle sits. So, go down a little. You go around town and around. It looks like it might need a little more, but let me use my, yes, just a hair. So I'm gonna just give a little bit here and a little bit here. And yes, I can be anal with these things, but I like to err on the side of caution. Beautiful. The 1/4 inch is touching it. I'm going to show you my little gadget that I love. This is a nail polish dispenser, nail polish remover that I got on Amazon, and I pump it. The vinegar gets onto my paper towel. Yes, I use this too because I don't like to get burned. I'm not too fond of that. And especially with sugar-laden items, it sometimes makes sealing, it hinders sealing, I should say. So I'm just gonna I like when I could feel it come up through the paper towel. And and that is a good swipe. You get your lid. I'm also going to show you, because a lot of people are like, well, what the heck is fingertip tight? Of course, the biggies are sunk to the bottom. I'm going to show you that. That's one. And two. Also, sometimes these puppies stick together, so you want to make sure you have just one lid. Fingertip tight. Some people put their finger in the middle, tighten, and when the jaw turns, oh, I didn't want to do that, popped back up, it's tight. Put it, jaw turns, fingertip tight. There you go. And then off to the canner we're gonna go. I'm gonna move you over to the canner. Let's pull you up and straighten you just a bit. And it goes. And it goes. Beautiful. We'll come back when we're alrighty. The recipe said 7½ pints, and that's what I got. I love it when it works perfectly. Now you put your lid on, and like I told you, when I pump up that heat, we want it to boil. I will keep an eye to see when I'm in my go zone, and then I start my processing times. All right, I'm going to show you one thing on my stove, and I use it for both my pressure and water bath. I used a Sharpie. That is the sweet spot on this burner here. And I'm going to pull you up because we are now in the go zone. And you can see the steam coming out. You want a light venting. I know there is no way you're going to see the bubbles on the inside, but my go zone is the dark forest green. And I am about at 1,300 feet above sea level. So my processing is 15 minutes. And you can hear it. I can hear the bubbles, and I do come back and check. I have my little, I know, folks, I'm really anal about this stuff. I have my little flashlight, and I check in there to make sure I see bubbles coming up. Don't laugh at me. This is how I roll. Just a couple of other pieces of information. Always check the description box because there's always pertinent info in there. There's going to be a link to the playlist of all the people participating, all the channels participating. On July 2nd at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll give you all the details like I was given. 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern, and 5 p.m. Is that BST? Is that British Standard Time? Don't ask me. I'm just lucky I know where I am, let alone the time. Kettle Kitchen is doing a giveaway, July 2nd. So you want to comment and get in on that. Remember to look for the links, and I'm going to show you something else. As well as sometimes there's links to the products used if you're interested in it. If you have an iPad, it'll say more. You click on that, and it pops up on this side. You click more, and here's all information. that'll help you find the other channels. That'll help you find any product links if there are being shared. Sometimes there's recipes in there, so look for that. And be sure to participate for that giveaway. That's going to be something sweet. Alrighty, we're almost ready for our cans to come, our jars to come out. As soon as we're doing that, we'll come back. Okay, so it processed for the 15 minutes, and then I make it sit as per the instructions for 5 minutes with the cover on. Don't open to you. Always away, because that's a heck of a facial. You take your lid off, and I will carry it here to my drain board. Just pop that there. And I'm going to move you over so you can see the jars coming out. And I place them on. You don't want to put them on a counter. They can shatter because they are hot. Let me just tilt you a little bit more. And you space them about an inch so that there's air circulating. I love these little ones, the squat jars. Also, do not tighten the lids if they are loose. I should say the bands. Do not bother them. Just let it be. Don't worry about that. Some of them get loose during processing, so don't get upset. How pretty that is. I am very happy with this canning session. Don't be afraid of canning. It is, to be honest, it's going to sound corny, it's freeing. It's so nice to be making items without all those preservatives in them. You're controlling the ingredients. That's why I said keep your eye out for participants in this collab who are using a low sugar recipe. Sky is the limit with canning. If meats are your thing, pork, chicken, beef, fantastic. Beans, I load up. As a matter of fact, I need to do some again because I'm down to my last jar of pinto beans. It's a great way to have food that's ready in minutes on your shelf. Remember to check the description box so that you can find the playlist link. Remember about the giveaway on the 2nd at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard. Please watch the videos, get a grasp for canning, find some new recipes. Know that here at this channel, it'll always be safe and approved. And most importantly, if you're new, I hope you'll come back and visit, subscribe, give a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, everything. Until next time, go create something wonderful. Bye-bye now.